The Warrior's Path with Elliott Danker. Brought to you by FirstDrop International.
Hi, I'm Elliott Danker, and welcome to The Warrior's Path. This is a podcast series in collaboration with FirstDrop International. Each week, I'll be speaking with martial artists from all walks of life, and I want to find out the answer to this question: what exactly is The Warrior's Path? With me today is Darryl Edmund Kho, also known as the Oathbreaker. Darryl, thanks a lot for taking the time, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I'm really excited to be here.
I am a big fan of yours. You are the ABF Supermiddleweight champion, as well as the WBA Asia East Supermiddleweight champion. If you're wondering what that is, it is the sport of boxing. I've seen you box. I like your style. I'm a fan, like I said. But I'm always curious, how did you start?
How did I start? I didn't really start with boxing. I started my martial arts journey a little late. I started at 19. A group of friends, we were all used to watching UFC, Pride FC. So, MMA was the craze back then. Yeah, I want to learn. We found out that Darren De Silva, the owner of Fight G, had an MMA gym. So that's where we started. So I started with Muay Thai, BJJ, MMA, 19, and then along the way I just got more comfortable with boxing, and then I stuck to it.
I started about 13 and 14 as well. A little bit different from you. I started martial arts standard like Taekwondo, right? Before I moved on to karate and stuff like that. But I started so I could get into gang fights. And then I met the right master and he slapped me good and I woke up. Okay, this is how life should be. This is what martial arts should be.
Correct.
I'm curious, your nickname is the Oathbreaker. What exactly does that mean?
Okay, you must understand, if anyone is fighting out of Fight G, do not take our fight name seriously. There is a whole nonsense backstory to it. So, the Oathbreaker is because, when I first started fighting, I wanted like Midnight Falcon or, whatever power. So I did a few boxing fights, a few amateur fights, and then Darren always wanted me to fight MMA. So I said, okay, like the next fight, I'll sign up for an MMA fight. And one thing led to another. I signed up for another boxing fight. And then he told me, hey, you promised me, then you let it, you Oathbreaker. Then I'm like, hey, actually the name quite nice, huh? Then that's how it stuck to it. So now it's
I thought it was like anytime an opponent goes into a ring, they make an oath, they will beat Darryl Edmund, and Darryl Edmund is going to break that oath.
That's a story I try to lead with, unless y'all ask me, then I'll tell you the backstory to it.
Wow. Well, it led you to become a champion. That is awesome. And you didn't exactly start competing at an early age. You started learning martial arts at 19. What age did you start competing?
I started competing at 27 years old. Yeah, it's very, very late.
Yeah.
Wow. So, because for me, work is very important.
Yeah.
So, I was busy with work and what have you, and I finally managed to get my routine around and I don't care. I just want to do it now.
Okay. But this is very un-Singaporean, right? Working and then trying to be a professional fighter at the same time. Was it difficult? Was there a support system? Any pressure?
Pressure, I would say only from myself. Support system, typical Grago mother and grandmother. I don't want you to fight, don't fight.
Yeah.
But they will support. But the best thing is I get the best support from them. Just the gym, my gym mates, my friends, they're always there to support, get tickets to my fights. I need training partners, they're always there. So the support system is actually more than I could ask for.
Right. Grago, of course, is a nickname that us Eurasians get called.
Oh, yeah.
It's true when you mention that they will criticize you. This is our culture. They will criticize you, but when you're there and you're doing it, they're all in support. And sometimes they're actually even more passionate than you.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
So what other challenges did you encounter in your fight career? Is it harder? I did a competition at 40 and I'm 42 now. I'm still looking to compete again. Obviously, I know where I stand physically.
Exactly.
For you at 27, what were the limitations like? Was it hard going through fight camp?
At 27, I would say no, because I I started off fighting, so fight camps were new to me. Like, oh, wow, so everything was new. Down the line, the older you get, I have to admit, recovery is harder. It takes longer for you to recover. Injuries take longer to heal. So it gets more difficult the older you get. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just how bad you want it, lah.
That's true, and my coach always advises me: ice can solve a lot of problems.
Exactly, the right type of ice,
right? Yes, absolutely, sir, absolutely. So, do you have any, memorable fights to you? Maybe the hardest fight, the fight that I saw you compete in. You seemed in control the entire time, not afraid of the height difference, closing out the ring very nice and steady, very good center of gravity. But for you, what goes on in your head? How do you overcome that challenge of, sometimes you get a volume fighter that's just pounding and pounding, and it's hard to think, okay, I need to circle out and get some space again.
So basically for me is, I'm short. I'm a short fella. So I'm always fighting people taller than me. There's never a time I fought anyone shorter than me. So I'm always used to fighting taller people. And the thing is, where I'm from, 5G, everyone is a pressure fighter over there. So I'm used to the pressure. So whenever I fight, if anyone turns up the accelerator, they try throwing in the pressure, I'm already used to it. And I'm always used to fighting taller people. So closing the distance is a thing for me. So, it's just another day at work, if it comes to that in a fight.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You find a taller guy or you talk to a taller guy like me, I would say I find shorter people quite annoying because I'm trying to keep the distance, but they're so energetic. They just keep going under, and they're closing the distance, and I find myself running away. Tell me a bit about Fight G. What's the philosophy from this gym? What do you take from the gym that you apply in life?
Fight G is a very no frills it's a hardcore gym basically. There are a lot of fighters that come out from the gym. Regular people who don't want to fight, they can go there, but don't expect the training to be easy. So basically the philosophy for Darren is, you train hard over here, life is harder than this. So if you can take this and you bring this mentality out there, that you go as hard as you can, you give your all, at the end of the day, life just gets that much easier for you with that mentality, that mental fortitude.
That's the thing, right? And it brings me to the theme of this season, which is, does martial arts create violence? I know people who have said to me, "Oh, Elliott, you've been in martial arts 30 years, you take part in this and that. You must be a violent person." I'm like, the last thing I think about is violence. It teaches me to deal with my problems with strategy, with technique. What does this mean to you? Does martial arts cause violence?
All right. It's majority, most of the time. If you see anyone you hear stories of people who's fighting, that guy's a fighter, martial artist, I would say they're just new to the art. If you've been doing this for a long time, you can safely say this. You train almost every day and you go out, the last thing you want to do is fight. Like, I'm already so tired. I'm already getting punched. I'm punching you almost every day. If I go out and someone wants to find problem, like, hey brother, please, I don't want. We sit down, we talk. You will find every reason not to fight. Also, not saying I'm being cocky or whatever, but you know what you can do. And it's why would you want to inflict that on others? And it's just not how people are brought up. If you are a true martial artist, you do not want to hurt people unless you really have to.
And it's funny, I've ever, in fact, quite recently, say 2-3 years ago, someone threatened me in front of my wife, and I found myself apologizing and walking away together with my wife. My wife said, "You know what? Why don't you go?" And I knew this person. And she asked me, "So what was in your head this whole time? You feel," I obviously feel a bit annoyed because I know I could have taken this guy on. And my answer to her was, okay, so I fight him. And this is still an if I win, who answers to his mother? Or if he wins, who answers to you? And I can't help it. That's just the first thing in my head.
Yeah, and you start to think of others, not just yourself. Like, yes, I can do this, but then what's going to happen to his side? What's going to happen if anything happens to me? What's going to happen to to my mom, my grandma. You know, there's just so many things that are not worth throwing hands for. I mean, there are times where you really have to, but you know, we will try our best to not get into that position.
I find it gentlemanly and almost honorable walking into a ring because of the preparation before that. You follow a good set of rules and you compete at the highest level. And after that, most often than not, you're not enemies with your opponent. You're like, hey, that was a good fight. Well, I mean, we talked trash before that, but after that, respect.
Exactly. I mean, just last week, my coach was telling us it's this famous Thai saying. I may be butchering it, but your enemies at the first bell, your friends at the last bell.
I totally hear you, Darryl. Having been in this scene for a while, both recreationally and professionally, what are your thoughts on the fight culture here in Singapore? What is it like, honestly?
Fight culture in Singapore is growing, definitely. Throughout the past few years, is growing a lot. But I would say that the support is still not there yet. Support meaning, you know, if you go to events, you're always going to see the same people, the same faces, majority. And events, I mean, at the end of the day, everything costs money. And there's not much support monetary-wise as well. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, Singapore is a book-smart place. You just want you to work, study. So things like this are new. And I just feel that there should be a much more support when it comes to the fight scene, and I think there's a lot of room to grow and there's a lot of potential here if we get the right support.
It's interesting that you bring that up, right? Because you have that fight scene that's growing where you have the recreational fighters, people like go to the gym and it's all about the Instagram posts. As a working professional as well, and you've lived that life, do you see, or do employers even understand that as a fighter, be it professional or recreational, there's a lot of martial arts that you can bring into the professional setting? And in some ways, to me, maybe I'm biased, I think a martial artist might make a better employee.
Yeah, if like I said, if they adopt the mentality, they take this seriously, it's nothing. I don't see any negative effects from that because it keeps you disciplined. It helps you work at the task at hand, helps you solve problems, helps you think properly. I mean, I don't see a downside to this. Mentally, physically, you're fit, you're awake, you're there at work, and you know, it's all plus over here.
Exactly. And how do you deal with people who find it hard to understand your love for martial arts? And of course, here's the sensitive question. You and your partner, is it a struggle for her to constantly support your quest?
First, for my partner, she's actually super supportive. It's just a bit sad that when I first got to know her, the first fight I invited her to, I lost. But hey, I mean, she stood by. She stood by, and every single fight, she's there for me. She does my meal preps. You know, she helps me out for fight preps and everything. So that's fine. And it's your question for people who don't understand my love of the sport and all. At the end of the day, I don't expect you to. It's just that, you know, if you don't understand, it's fine. Just respect what I do, and I respect what you do. I'm not going to force you to know. You have to understand. I mean, everybody has different understanding, different levels of things, of how they perceive things. So for me, it's not so bad if you don't understand how I feel about this journey lah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because we're trying also to answer what is the warrior's path. And as I speak with you, you can find that someone who is composed in martial arts is usually someone who is at peace with his choice or her choice in the martial art they do. It's not to be philosophical, but well, religion is between you and who you believe in or what you believe in. It doesn't have to spread to like, oh, if you're not with me, you're against me. That's completely wrong.
Correct.
Darryl, here's a fun one. What are your fight plans for the year? Because I see you training hard on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm 40 years old. But for me, it's, you know, I'm an old man and a young man sport. But I want to see how far I can go. So I'm going to take it as far as I can. I don't know when I'll stop. You know, I keep telling, you know, 1 or 2 fights more. But you know how it is. One fight done, I'll do one more, No, I just want to push the limits, see how far I can go. And I've got a fight coming up on August 17th. and hopefully I'll do another one probably October, and that'll be done for this year. And then we'll see next year if after August 17, if there's another title shot or what have you, I want to take it. Like I said, I want to go as far as I can. So 2 more for this year, and who knows, 3-4 more next year. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we can do that.
And that's why I respect you. I mean, you and I are both old men, but you're certainly pushing the line a lot harder than me. I really appreciate it. Go check him out on Instagram. Just search up Darryl Edmund. You'll be able to find him, and you can follow some of his fights. He's even put up links to tickets of his fights. Make sure you support this guy. He's our local boy. I'm a big fan of his. And here's the fun question. You're not allowed to answer Muay Thai. If you were not a boxer, what martial art would you be practicing?
Honestly, I think I would want to try capoeira.
Oh, wow.
Because
interesting.
Tell me it's not fun jumping here, spinning here, and then wild dancing, awesome music.
Yeah, but at 40?
Okay, at 40, I may break a few bones, probably. Mobility is not there, but you don't try, you don't know. But I would definitely want to give that a shot. But yeah, not now, because I'm definitely going to injure something.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the thing about us martial artists, right? It's that curiosity to try a new art, even just a little bit. You get an insight, and it changes your perspective.
Exactly.
This has been great fun. I've been speaking with the Oathbreaker. Make sure you check him out. Go follow him on Instagram, Darryl Edmund Kho. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thanks for having me so much, brother. I will definitely catch up with you soon.
The Warrior's Path with Elliott Danker.